I'm Gabriel Hostin.
Hi, I'm Sunny Hostin.
And we are spilling
the
the
ET. I poured us some vanilla chai tea because we
lovely.
both are tea drinkers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cheers.
So, Gabriel, welcome to my world. On camera, doing interviews. What was your reaction to my good friend Sherry Shepherd admitting that she has a little bit of a crush on you?
Golly, girl, what? I thought y'all was gonna show a picture of Gabriel when he was like 7. Good grief. You joked about Anna. You wanted him to get with Anna.
Anna thinks he's real hot.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm single too, and I think you're real hot. So come on over and see Sherry.
I was definitely surprised.
Yeah.
I thought it was like super funny. I thought it was funny. Like, she's a comedian, of course.
Yeah. But you also said something to me about liking mature women.
Oh, I mean, maturity's good, yeah.
You did text that to me that LOL, I like a mature woman.
I do like mature. I think it's just all very funny.
She's
I was
cute.
flattered
She's cute.
and flabbergasted at the same time.
Gabriel's smart too. Sunny's 21-year-old son is a senior at Harvard, studying psychology with a focus in wellness and business. His sister, 18-year-old Paloma, is headed to Cornell in the fall.
One says, who's your favorite child? But honestly, don't answer that for Paloma's sake. So
I can
let's,
You are funny. I do not have a favorite child.
And talking about lame, the ladies of The View, more particularly Sunny Hostin, her son Gabriel has been hit with a trespassing violation in New York City, and Page 6 is reporting that Sunny asked the officers if they knew who she was before name-dropping The View. Michael, I am predicting here, I'm very confident that Sunny will turn this into some sort of a race issue. She is obsessed by race.
Oh yeah, that's common. It's gonna be an avalanche. Like, how dare you? How dare you go after my son who was in an area that was clearly marked no trespass? How dare you? I tell you what, as soon as she says, "Do you know who I am? I'm from The View." If I'm that cop, I'm quadrupling the fine. I'm like,
What's up, family? So we got some body cam footage just dropped, and I had to break this down because it's one of those situations where you got to watch it to believe it. This is about Sunny Hostin, one of the co-hosts on The View, and her 24-year-old son, Gabriel, who got himself caught trespassing on Metro North Railroad tracks over in New Rochelle, New York. And I'm talking about not a little oopsie. I'm talking about walking on active train tracks with 4 live tracks and 4 third rails active. Trains coming in and out at 40, 50 miles an hour. And when the police stopped them, Sunny Hostin did something that, honestly, if you follow her at all, the way the lunch ladies at The View love to run into the Victim Olympics, you're not going to be surprised. She tried to pull every card she had. And I mean every single one of them, like former federal prosecutor. She originally don't even know if she want to say former federal prosecutor or speaking as if she's currently a federal prosecutor. Because at one point, and I hope you guys catch it, she said, "I'm a federal prosecutor" on the phone. Then in person, when she got to the scene of her son Gabriel being arrested, she says, "I'm a former federal prosecutor." But anyway, she pulled out Harvard graduate, Yale researcher. She's The View host. She was pulling those cards like she was trying to win a poker hand. But here's the thing. The police officers weren't buying what she was selling, and the body cam footage captured the whole thing from start to finish. So let's get into it. And first, let me set the scene before we get into it because context matters. Gabriel Hostin, 24 years old, Harvard graduate, calls his mom while police are handcuffing him on the train tracks right off the bat. This is a grown man, a 24-year-old man, and the first thing he does is call his mommy. I said what I said. He's on the phone like, "Hey, Mom, I'm walking by a train station right now, and this cop is putting handcuffs on me." And immediately, Sunny gets on the phone with the officers and start telling them who she is. And watch what happens because this is where it gets good. She says to the officer, "Officer Gomez, this is a former federal prosecutor. That's my son. He's a Harvard graduate. He's not a criminal. He has no criminal record, no criminal history." Now, pause for a second and think about that. I understand, you can be biased. You're going to go to bat for your kid in every single way. I get it, right? But He's a grown man. And this is what enabling your child looks like. Gives off spoiled child energy where I got to call mommy to get me out instead of being held accountable for my consequences. But anyway, she's a former federal prosecutor, so she knows the law. It's one thing to go to bat for your child and enable them. And it's another thing to go to bat for your child and go through every legal channel in regards of them being held accountable while still letting them have the reality of understanding that there's consequences for your actions. As big and grown as he is. But anyway, to my point, Sunny Hostin, she knows the law. She knows how the system works. So she's trying to use her status to get her son out of something that he clearly did wrong. But here's the thing. The officers didn't care. They were polite. They were professional. They were respectful. But they did their job anyway. And that's what I love about this footage, because normally when you see body cam videos, you see the worst of police interactions. But this right here, this is a textbook example of how police are supposed to handle situations like this. They treated Gabriel with respect. They explained why what he did was dangerous. And they even knocked the charge down from a misdemeanor to a violation. But they still wrote the ticket and they still held him accountable. And Sunny Hostin kept pushing. She kept asking, is this really necessary? She asked the officer, what happens if he didn't, if you didn't do it? That's what she asked. She asked, what happens if you didn't do it? She asked, can you give him a warning? She was trying every angle to get him out of facing any consequences at all. So with no further ado, fam, let's get into the footage.
Put your hands behind your back for a second.
Hey, what's going on?
Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor.
It's fine.
Are you arresting my son?
What do you mean?
What happens if you're like, oh, I would like to write this?
Well, you know, we have cameras everywhere. Normally it's a misdemeanor charge. We're dumbing it down to a violation, okay? I know you're upset.
I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows he's a Harvard grad who teaches fourth grade geometry to his kids.
God bless.
This is not a kid who's ever in trouble.
Sorry, you guys running for me? I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Put your hands behind your back for a second.
Hey, what's going on? I'm on
Put your
my mom,
hands.
by the way. Yeah, I got you. Hey, mom. I'm walking by a train station and this cop is putting handcuffs on me. I got you. My mom's a lawyer, by the way.
That's okay. What's your name?
Gabriel. What's your name, sir?
Nice to meet you. I'm Brian.
Brian. Is that your badge number 2814?
Yes, yes. So the reason we're stopping you, this is trespassing right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was open over there. I was just walking on a run here.
Where are you coming from? All the way over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm sorry. I just looked open for me, so I just walked in.
So this is considered trespassing. It's criminal trespass. Reason why it's such a big deal, people get hit by a train all the time. We want to prevent it, obviously.
By the way, can you please...
you want me to hold it for you?
Yeah, my mom, the phone's at 2%, FYI. Here you go.
So yeah, so this is considered trespassing. It's a big deal. We don't want people to get hit by a train, which is why we came running over, okay? Do you have any ID on you?
Yes.
Okay, where is it?
It's in my phone if you take off the case.
Tell them your mother is a federal prosecutor.
Yes.
Hey mom, how are you? This is Officer Gomez. Your son's fine, right?
Officer Gomez,
How are you?
This is
Yes,
former
yes.
federal prosecutor.
Okay, fair
That's
enough.
my son.
Yeah.
He's a Harvard graduate.
Yeah.
He's not a criminal. He has no criminal record, no criminal history.
Yes. No, I understand that. The issue is, like I told your son, is this is considered criminal trespassing. So besides being illegal, it's actually very dangerous for him to be around the railroad tracks. You know, we get people that get hit all the time. So we make this a big issue because it's a serious thing. People get hit.
I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you for protecting him.
No problem. Listen. You know, we just have to do our due diligence here. Okay, your son is fine. I promise. You're on the line here. If we do have to hang up, I'll make sure that he gets to call you. So don't worry. Okay, everything's fine at this point.
Can we call her on your phone if my phone dies?
Absolutely. Yeah, no problem. It's fine.
Are you arresting my son?
At this point, listen, we're just going to do our due diligence. We're just going to check his background, and that's all we're going to do for now, okay? All right, we'll keep you informed of everything that goes on, all right? So that's pretty much it. He says...
Can you please keep me on the phone?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am. So as of right now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to hang up because he says his ID's on the phone.
If you just take out my case off, it's actually right in the case.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. Mom, if I hang up on you, just give me 1 second. Hold on.
Yes, it's right in there.
Now, when you look at it, right, what the officer said to her because this is important. They explained to her this wasn't just about the law, it was about safety. They said people get hit by trains all the time, and they said they see it happen more often than not. And they said trains can't stop on a dime, and sometimes when they see a person on the tracks, they have to dump the train in an emergency, which puts the safety of other passengers at risk. So this wasn't police officers trying to be hard on her son. This was police officers trying to keep him from getting killed. And she's still arguing with them. She's still trying to talk her way out of it. And at one point, she says, "Why would you put something on his record like this?" As you will see as we continue to play it. And the officer said, "It's not even anything criminal. It's a violation. He just has to appear in court." And she says, "Why would you hold him accountable?" And I had to rewind that when I seen this. I had to rewind that part because I thought I heard wrong. She actually asked the officer why he would hold her son accountable. This is a woman who sits on national television every single day talking about systemic racism and policing, talking about how black people are targeted, talking about how the system is unfair. But the second it's her son, the second it's her family, suddenly accountability is optional. Suddenly the rules don't apply. Suddenly she wants the officers to look the other way. And look, I get it. I'm a parent too. I get it. I understand wanting to protect your kids. Every parent in America will probably try to do the same thing. But here's the difference. Most parents don't spend their entire public career telling everybody else that nobody's above the law and then turning around and acting like their family is above the law. That's the problem. That's the hypocrisy. That's what makes this whole thing so hard to watch. And the reality is the police is also covering her behind because this is the same lady who will run into the Victim Olympics if something did happen to her son and say, "Why was the police wasn't there?" So the police are covering their behind. Now they have it on record, also hold him accountable, because if they don't hold him accountable and they let him get away with it, who to say it won't happen again? But if it does happen again, thank goodness nothing bad didn't happen to her son, because I don't wish that on anybody. But unfortunately, if it did a second time or another time, if he decides to go back, the police did show up and it's documented that they did prevent it the first time. And they held him accountable for it. So this is the police covering their behind, right? Let's get into it.
Have you guys actually here?
Yeah, it's very, like, this is like a super busy train station, and we don't need anyone getting hit by a train, okay? That's the last thing we want anyone to do, okay? I know this gate is open, but that's still trespassing, okay? This is Metro North property, all right?
I'm trying to figure out why was he there in the first place. I want to know the reason why. I still don't know.
Even if you're on the phone, just, taking a walk, like, trains are coming in and out of here all night long, and last thing I need for you to do is, be distracted and walk on the tracks and get run over by a train, all right?
Understood. I had no idea. I was just trying to walk around, take a run.
I got you.
Yeah, totally understood. My mom's asking for you, actually.
Hello, this is Officer Murray.
Hi, Officer Murray.
Hi.
Prosecutor, that's my son.
Yes.
He's a Harvard graduate. He doesn't have a criminal record.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, he's we have him detained on the track area. He was walking, talking to you on the cell phone as we were on the Track 2 platform at New Rochelle, and we saw him walking towards us. This is a active railroad track with 4 live tracks and 4 third rails active. So we initiated a subject stop on him to get him in custody so that, he doesn't get hit by a train accidentally, because we see it happen more often than not. Yes, we're waiting for our sergeant to arrive, and then we're gonna take her from there.
All right. Gabriel, just to keep everything above board, I am going to write you what's called an appearance ticket, where you do have to show up to court. All right. I'll explain all the details and why you have to show up.
Let's get my mom on the phone.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, Mom. Hey, so you said that. Can I grab my phone?
Absolutely, go ahead.
And if the phone dies, can we call her?
Absolutely.
So yeah, just tell her.
Miss Hostin, it's Officer Gomez.
Hi, Officer Gomez. I'm about 4 minutes away.
Okay, that's fine. So I just wanted to give you the heads up. So I am going to be writing your son what's called an appearance ticket. I'm sure you know what that is. I'll explain everything, where he has to report all that stuff, because it is criminal trespass where he was. It's normally in a... Hold on for 1 second, miss. It's normally a misdemeanor. Obviously, we're cutting it down to the violation because listen, there's nothing on his record. He's been very cooperative with us. But as of right now, we will have to issue him the appearance ticket.
Officer, is that really necessary? This is a kid that doesn't do anything. He's a Harvard graduate and a Yale researcher. He teaches geometry to in box.
I understand that. It absolutely is necessary, miss.
No, we appreciate you being cool, man. It's just the MTAPD takes that stuff very seriously. All right, that's like one of like the biggest things we take seriously is like trespassers and safety along the track area and in between the gauge, which is where the train rides through. Okay, because it's like these trains are coming in at 40, 50 miles per hour. They can't stop on a dime. They see a person. Sometimes they don't know if they're suicidal or whatever the case may be, okay? And sometimes they dump the train in an emergency just to make sure, you know? So that puts the safety of other people that are riding the train at risk, okay?
Why would you put something on his record like this?
No, it's not anything criminal. He just has to appear. I'm dumbing it down to a violation. That's all it is.
So let's talk about the privilege on display here, because this is something we don't talk about enough in our communities. Sunny Hostin's son is a 24-year-old Harvard graduate who walks onto active railroad tracks and then calls his mom to get him out of it. That's not street smarts. That's not common sense. That's a young man who has been coddled his entire life and has never had to face real consequences for anything he's done. And I can say that because look at the footage. The whole thing in itself, the whole time he's being detained, he's trying to get his mom back on the phone. The officer tells him he's getting a ticket, and the first thing he says is, "Can we get my mom on the phone?" You heard it. That's a grown man. That is a 24-year-old adult man calling for his mother to handle his problems. And I've seen this before. I've seen these kids who grow up in wealthy, privileged environments, who go to Ivy League schools, who have never had to struggle a day in their lives. And the second day they face any kind of adversity, any kind of consequence, they run to mommy and daddy to fix it. And Sunny Hostin is right there ready to fix it. She's ready to use her platform, her status, her connections, her credentials, all of it to get her son out of a situation that he put himself in. But here's the thing I want you to think about, family. If this had been a regular kid from a regular neighborhood walking on those same train tracks, do you think his mom calling and saying, "I'm a former federal prosecutor," would have mattered? Of course not. The officers would have handled it the same way. But the difference is the mom wouldn't have had those credentials to use. That's privilege. That's the kind of privilege Sunny Hostin supposedly fights against, right? But the second it benefits her, she uses it.
So it's not a misdemeanor. It's just going back down. I'm writing him literally for the 140.05. It's a trespass violation. He would have to appear, which is an inconvenience. I understand that. But with all due respect, ma'am, I still have a job to do. And we have to deter people from being on the tracks. Because again, besides...
I understand, but what I'm asking of you is once a judge gets this, all he would have to do is pay a fine anyway. There is a path.
I understand that, miss, but I have to do this. It's part of my job. Okay?
Is this necessary? Like, yes. What happens if you didn't do it?
What do you mean?
What happens if you're like, oh, we're going to write this?
Well, you know, we have cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
you know, if we didn't see you, somebody would have called it over.
Correct.
You know, and
there was too many trains coming in and out of there to not.
I hate to
not
say
see
it,
you.
it's like my partner said, our hands are tied. It is what it is. Listen, I really appreciate you being cool about this. You know, put you in handcuffs, and we do that for our safety and all that stuff. Hi, miss, how are you? I'm Officer Gomez. Oh. No problem. I apologize for this, but you know, it's.
Where you were on the track,
so, like I explained to you, normally it's a misdemeanor charge. We're dumbing it down to a violation. Okay, I know you're upset. We just do it as a deterrence because again, like I explained to you on the phone, besides being illegal, which is far from the subject, it's dangerous. I mean, so that's pretty much it.
Can you give him a warning?
I cannot at this point. I have to write the summons.
Did we talk about how
And like I said, it's usually a misdemeanor. We're dumbing it down to a violation. So he's literally getting hit by with the 140.05. It's not going to go in his record. It's not going to affect him in nothing. It's not going to. He asked a bunch of questions like if it's going to hit his license. Absolutely not. Yeah. No, it's not. It's not going to affect him. Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. I really do.
How are you?
How are you? This is my son.
How you doing, man? All right.
He was walking along the tracks.
just on a run, on a walk, and the gate was open? I was like, oh.
Yeah. Sounds like an honest
He's on the
mistake.
phone with me. Actually.
Yeah.
I'm a former federal prosecutor.
Yeah.
He knows he's a Harvard grad who teaches fourth grade geometry to kids.
God bless.
This is not a kid who's ever in trouble. It's an innocent mistake. I understand you have to.
Yeah, it's,
give
I
him a
don't know what
violation,
happened,
but
but yeah, whatever.
it's
It's not the end of the world. I get you.
Okay. So this is going to be your copy. Okay. So basically, just have to show up on a Friday, July 10th at 9:30 a.m. It's going to be to the New Rochelle Criminal Court. It's going to be at 475 North Ave here in New Rochelle. Not the end of the world. Not the crime of the century. Okay. It's unfortunate. I get it. I know you're upset. I know your mom's upset. I'm not trying to be a ball buster here. I have a job to do. That's all it is. Okay. I hope you don't take it personally. I really appreciate you being cooperative with us. All right. This is your ID.
Put your hands behind your back for a second.
So there you have it. Now, I want to talk about something else that stood out to me in this footage. The way the officers handled this situation is actually a masterclass in professionalism. They explained everything clearly. They told Gabriel why what he did was wrong. They told him it was dangerous. They told him people die on those tracks. They gave him a break by reducing the charge from a misdemeanor to a violation. But they still held him accountable. And you know what? That's exactly how the system is supposed to work. Not with excessive force, not with brutality, not with abuse of power, just fair professional enforcement of the law. And Sunny Hostin couldn't accept it. She kept pushing. She kept trying to find a loophole. She kept trying to use her influence. And every time she pushed, the officers politely but firmly held their ground. And that right there is the takeaway for me, family. The system works when the people in it do their jobs the way these officers did. They didn't care who her son was. They didn't care what school he went to. They didn't care who his mother was. They saw somebody on the train tracks, they did their job, and they issued the citation. That's equality under the law, and that's what it's supposed to look like. But here's the bigger question. What are we teaching our kids when we rush to save them from every single consequence? What are we teaching them from when they make a mistake and we use everything we have to get them out of it? We're teaching them that the rules don't apply to them. And we're teaching them that they're special. And we're teaching them that they don't have to be accountable for their actions. And that's a dangerous lesson, especially for our young people and the youth and the next generation in America. Because here's the reality. Gabriel Hostin is not going to have his mom on the phone for the rest of his life. There's going to be a situation where she can't save him. And there's going to be a situation where his Harvard degree and his Yale research position and his mom's TV platform aren't going to matter. And if he hasn't learned how to handle consequences by then, it's going to be a lot worse than a trespassing citation. So in a weird way, those officers did Gabriel a favor, if you ask me. They gave him a small consequence now, so he doesn't have to learn a much harder lesson later. And his mom should be thanking them instead of trying to get him out of it. And I want to bring this home with some scripture because there's a lesson here that goes beyond politics and beyond this one situation. Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it." And I think about that verse in the context of what we just watched. Because training a child, raising a child, doesn't mean protecting them from every mistake. It doesn't mean using your connections to get them out of trouble, and it means teaching them right from wrong. And it means letting them face the consequences of their choices so they learn and grow. Gabriel Hostin is 24 years old. He's not a child anymore. And at some point, he has to learn that his actions have consequences. And his mom has to learn that she can't save him from everything. And for those of you who aren't particularly spiritual, here's the life wisdom that applies to all of us, no matter what you believe. Accountability is not punishment, it's protection. When you face consequences for your actions, you learn, you grow, you become a better person. And the people who love you the most are the ones who let you face those consequences, not the ones who shield you from them. So whether you're raising kids, whether you're mentoring someone, whether you're just trying to be a better person yourself, remember that accountability is a gift, and it's how we learn, it's how we grow, it's how we become the people we are supposed to be. So let me leave you with this, family. The next time you hear somebody on TV talking about how nobody's above the law, watch what happens when the law touches their family. Which I hope not, but watch how they handle things that may cost them. And in this case, and particularly when it comes to abiding and actually following the law. And watch what happens when watch what happens when accountability comes for their own people and themselves as well. Because a lot of times that's where the real character comes out. And in this case, the body cam footage don't lie. Sunny Hostin tried to pull the privilege card and the officers rejected it. They did their job and they were professional, respectful, and they held their son accountable. And that's how it's supposed to work. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with how the officers handle this? Would you have done the same thing if it was your kid? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your post notifications. And I understand, like I said, you go to bat for your kid, but at the end of the day, respect the process. Understand that even when they told you that this is their job respectfully and they understand, she should have left it there, not try to pull every credential out the book. She shouldn't even led with the credential. I still want to know why was he there. But thank goodness he's safe, she's safe, everybody else is face, safe. I say everybody else's face. Everybody else is safe and there was no excessive force or anything like that. Thankfully, because also respect and love goes to those officers, same as the Hostin family, even though I disagree with a lot of things that Sunny Hostin say. I still don't want nothing bad happening to anybody. We only got one life to live, and those officers put their life on the line every day. And thank goodness that Sunny Hostin's son is safe, let alone Sunny Hostin. So let the love supersede the hate, family. On that note, I catch you in the next one. Peace.